Hi, this is Nikki with Scrappy Squirrel. I wanted to show you a quick demo on how to do folded corners. These are in so many different quilts, and I want to show you my 3 methods that I like to use, and I use different ones depending on the project or my mood, you know. So here's the different ones. This is the kind of folded corners I'm talking about. You have a lot of blocks. Maybe it has a large folded corner or a small folded corner. You can see it here, a large one, a small one. So it depends on which one you're doing. You can use any one of these methods, okay? So multiple sizes. So first I'm going to show you my favorite ruler to use. This is the Mini Folded Corners ruler by Doug Leko. So I'm going to hold this up here so then you can see it. Okay, so the Mini Folded Corners ruler by Doug Leko. This one right here, the small one, the mini version, does all the way from 1/2 inch up to 3.5 inches folded corners. Fabulous. He does have a larger one as well that you can use. Most of my projects, I like to do the smaller stuff, so I have this one right in my station. My bigger one is put away right now, but this one's great. So how to use this ruler is there's great markings on here. If you'll come close, I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to take my rectangle of fabric, and I don't change anything from what the pattern calls for. This pattern called for the stitch and flip method, where you just stitch on it and flip it up, right? So that's fine. All my pieces are going to be the same size. I don't have to do any math to figure out how to use this ruler. Everything's the same. So the method in the pattern told me to draw a line from corner to corner and sew on it, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that method as well. But first I want to show you how to use the folded corners ruler. So all I'm going to do is you'll see this diagonal line across here by the cut edge. I'm going to put that in the opposing corners of my top square. So there it is, it's in the opposing corners. And then if I use my rotary cutter and cut this, I've already automatically gave myself my 1/4 inch. Why I like to do this method is I'm going to have a 1/2 square triangle left over that I can sew and I know it's going to come out perfect every time. So after I do that, I will put a couple pins in it just to hold it, because I like to do a whole bunch of them at once. I cut a whole bunch and then take them over to the sewing machine, and then I will sew them. Grab another pin out of here. So I just stack them up and I have them ready to go. When this one is sewn, magic of camera, I have this one sewn, it will come out perfect. So you can see here, it came out exactly perfect. But what I also do is I take these and I stack them up by my machine, and then I sew those together. And that way I can make a little mug rug, a doll quilt, use them for any kind of other project, because I'm going to have a whole bunch of those left over. And if you do this next method, they're not always consistent in their size. Okay, so the next method I want to show you is the traditional method. We'll call this one the traditional one. Oh, one more thing I want to show you. If you wanted to use this for any other size, here's a tiny little square. It's the same philosophy. So that was a 3.5 inch square, so it went corner to corner. But if I do this little one right here and I line it up in the corner, you see it does the same thing. I line it up right here in this corner, going right along there, and it comes out perfect every time. Doesn't matter the size, as long as you just line up this diagonal line corner to corner. Okay, so the method it calls for in the pattern was the traditional method. Grab another square. I have a whole bunch of these inside. And I'm gonna lay this on here pretty to pretty. I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna draw a line from corner to corner on my square. So just take this, and I'm using a Frixion pen. So it's actually a Frixion marker. Why I like the Frixion markers, you'll see these, they come in lots of different colors. This is the fine liner. And I love this one because it has a finer point than the fat ones. They have a fatter one too. So I'll show you the 2 tips on these, fat and thin. They also have a ballpoint pen. But I feel with the ballpoint pen, I have to mark it more than once, and I like a one and done. These, I can mark on my fabric, iron it, it goes away. If you ever have a problem with the line not going away, spray a little best press on it, it'll disappear. All right, so now I have my line drawn on here. I don't normally put pins in this unless I'm stacking a whole bunch, but I'm putting a pin in it so I can show you. So here's a tip. When I do this method, the traditional method where I draw the line, I'm going to sew right next to the line but not on the line. So butt it up to it. I'm gonna touch it, but my seam is gonna go down the piece on the side closest to the corner, right? I can show you here. I've sewn this one, and if you look closely, you can see I didn't sew on top of the line, I sewed next to the line. The reason why is I want space for this to be able to fold over. Okay, I want it to be able to fold over and give some extra space. So by moving over just that little hair, I gave enough space for the fold so that when I press this, it comes out perfect. That's just a little tip I like to do when I do these. My other way of doing this, the folded corners, is I use the washi tape. So this is made by Cluck Sew. This great washi tape right here. It's 1/4 inch lines. And I set my machine to 1/4 inch and I run the piece of tape down my machine, across my bobbin case, cut it, and then down my Sew Steady table. Then all I have to do is no marking, no cutting. I just lay my square on top, like so, and I get it set into the machine, and I make sure the bottom corner, right here, might want to come closer to see this, the bottom corner is lined up right here with the red line. Okay, so that way I can load it in the machine and just sew right down it, and this will, as I sew, it just travels up the red line, and that makes my diagonal go completely down the piece. So that is my 3 ways I like to do folded corners. I hope you'd enjoy this little quick demo. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Patreon, and here on YouTube. Thanks so much, and have a scrappy, happy day.